Please welcome our guest speaker today, media entertainment lawyer, creative industry investor, serial entrepreneur, creative economy academic, policy specialist, the founder and CEO of Mkosi Inc., Ms. Zama Mkosi.
I'm saying, oh, she's talking about introducing a speaker. And because these are all these beautiful things that are being said. And I'm thinking, but Ezinye, I recognize them. I'm like, some of those things sound like me. Can I put it, okay. Some of them, but I guess it really speaks to something that I think as women, especially African women, we need to shake off. We are so not used to hearing good things being spoken about us. Yeah? It feels strange. We are so used to, people, talking down upon us and saying all sorts of things about us. May we be those sisters that say beautiful things about other sisters. Because in that way, we are really eliminating this thing. Yokuthi kungakhulunywa ngawe kuphele 15 minutes and we are not registering. That's not right. May the good Lord help us. A very beautiful and abundant blessing to everyone this morning and to everyone in the house and everyone listening. It may feel a bit weird. Are they seeing us on this camera? Those that are? Yeah, they'll forgive us because they're there, but at the same time, our esteemed guests are on the other end, the class of 2022. So pardon us. But warm greetings to the chairperson of the Board of Governors, the board members, the old girls, those that are here, the Committee of 10, we're so honored. The Power of 10. Laleli committee salshia done. Power now. Power. Pot. Kahle nbo. Nisasipheka namanje. Njengoba nisipheka ningamaqoqo ngamaqoqo abantwana sasipheka namanje. Okay, fine, we'll take it, the pot of 10. But also, all the other old girls that are listening virtually wherever they are, the teachers, the staff, and most importantly, all the members in the house, and I say, so I thank you all for the privilege of really sharing a few words with you on this very auspicious occasion. I am deeply humbled. I really, really am humbled to be in this very space because it is very dear to my heart. Inanda tend a very fearful, sorry, as in Jay, we are trying to do director, member. So can I just do this a little bit, just a little bit, and then I can face almost everyone. But Inanda holds a very dear space in my heart. I think as I was driving through, in fact, not even driving through, mangabe bezongilanda, imoto nje seeing i-badge, Nkosam kwaqala wahlanganzela inyembezi. I'm thinking, how? Yini kodwa uma wengane azazi ingane zami zidala kanjani, and I'll tell you just now. But just seeing that badge did something to me. Because this place turned a very fearful, low self-esteemed, depressed girl into a confident, visionary, transformational leader that impacts nations. And we have not even begun. We have not even begun. But as I say, a glass of water would be nice. A glass of water somewhere. Note that I did not say a perfect girl. Just one person at Tatamans. Tina Songaban Astralela. Okay? As I was saying, I did not say a perfect girl. I did not say a perfect leader. I did not say a perfect woman. Because none of us are. None of us are. But we don't need to be perfect to impact nations. We don't need to be perfect to make a difference in this world. We don't need to be old also to impact and make a difference in nations. Because perfection is a fallacy. I mean, and you know, I've really been able to impact the industries, the people, the families that I've had the privilege of impacting in one way or another because of this place, because of the time that I've spent in Nanda and the experiences that I've had. All the professional accomplishments that were listed, I'm so grateful and feel privileged that I've been able to achieve all of them. But one of the things that bring me the most pride is that and it does bring me pride, that I'm a wife to a very wonderful man for 22 years, happily married, very happily married. It is possible. It is possible. And I'm a mom to 2 boys, a 20-year-old boy. Shy. Follow me on Instagram and find out. I'm a mom to a 20-year-old boy and an 18-year-old boy. Sesobuza wena ke mama Thi ukuthi kusuke sekuchazwani ke masekuskriba. But all of the above has not been a walk in the park, and I've been able to navigate all of the above simply because of the seeds that were planted in me in the 5 years that I was here in Nanda. So the words that I'm going to share with you, you know, there's not enough time for me that, you know, if I were to really share the words that are in my heart about, you know, all the life experiences and the things that I believe can be further seeds that can be planted, there's not enough time in the program today to do it. So I really, you know, making a public request, you know, to the leadership of the school to allow me the opportunity to come back. Even if it's virtually or physically, to come back and hold sessions, you know, with the members. You'll also be invited. So that I think there's a lot more that we can talk about. And I promise those that are listening virtually, they are committing and they are raising their hands that they will also join me in those sessions that we are going to have members, all girls. We are going to host more sessions regularly where we are sharing our stories and we are imparting and planting more seeds for the next generation. So we are going to commit to do that from the beginning of next year. I commit to do the first 3. I commit we're going to do them monthly. I'll commit to do the first 3, and I'm hoping more hands will be raised by those that are listening virtually to join me as we speak into the lives that are in this room and those that are yet to be birthed by their nations here. Their nations here. And so it's our responsibility to speak into those nations that they themselves don't even know yet that they are there. And so it's up to us to speak life into those. So we are going to commit to do that. I'm not going to cover everything in just the few words that I'm going to say. this morning. So we are going to set up that platform, and yeah, we're going to discuss the nitty-gritties of it. So if we set something like that up, how many of you will be able to join in and link and be interested? Do you think it's a good idea? Yeah. I just thought about it now. Okay, there's a raise of hands. We raise hands. We raise hands. Raise hands. Those that think. Okay, those who are virtually and can't see, there's a lot of hands here that we really love. So the challenge is upon all of us. And as I said, I commit to take on that responsibility. But this morning, I just want to throw one challenge to you. Just one thing. So I know there's a lot that is being said. I don't want to get all of you, class of 2022, you know, there's a lot, there's a lot that is being said. So I am just going to share one thing with you today. Just pour it as a glass and leave it here. You can take the jug. And this one thing is a game changer, as you'll hear when I explain. It is a game changer, ladies and gentlemen. And let me do this, sorry. To my technology. Yeah, when Mouth we shy, it's the first to really get the trip of you. Okay. All right. You know, standing in front of you ultimately is a 12-year-old girl that walked through these gates 30 years ago, 35 years ago. I was 12 years old when I came to do grade 8. And I walked through these gates. Grade 8 in the house. That's this. That's me. Are you not allowed to speak? I was 12 years old and I was ushered into these premises by Ubab Gwala. A short, grey, bearded man, wearing a chebe grey, wearing a white safari suit, a petty cane. And a cane that he always had in his hand, but come to think of it, he never used. He never used, but somehow because he was always carrying it, we were just all fearful and we all kept in a straight and narrow. And 5 years later, I drove off these gates thinking I'm all grown up and I'm all that and more. And I thought there is all there is to know about life. In between the day that I walked in through these gates to when I walked out, which you'll be doing in a few weeks' time, you'll agree that a lot has happened since the first time you came. You know, a lot of growing up has happened. A lot of growing up, a lot of good, a lot of not so good, a lot of ugly things spoken about and not spoken about. They've all happened, you know? And not all has been perfect and rosy. I'm sure you have found out. You have figured that out by now. But you are still standing. You are still breathing. You are still in purple and gold. You are not dead. You are not expelled. Yeah? That, fellow members, counts for something. Many wish they were where you are. Many wish they were sitting where you are. As class of 22 or even everywhere else, or even right back there at grade 8, many wish they are sitting where you are, but they are not. Whether for reasons of their own control, outside of control, bottom line, they are not here. Some are still alive to even regret some of the decisions and the things that they made that caused them to be expelled and not be where they are today, where you are sitting. They may be living in regret. Some it's because their families got into situations that financially they were not able to continue, and it was not their own fault, but bottom line, they are not here and you are here. So this is the first thing that I would like you to just pause and soak it in. Pause and soak it in. Just for a moment, close your eyes, take a deep breath and let it sink in that you are here. You're here, class of 22, you made it. You made it up to here. And that is a privilege. You know, you've got to put behind you whatever, you know, has happened that was not what you would have hoped it to happen, and it didn't happen the way that you would wish it to happen, and seize this very moment that you are privileged to be here and be able to decide where to from here. But for this moment, do not and never take this very moment for granted, because it's a privilege that we have to be grateful for, that we have to, it's an opportunity that we have to grab with both our hands, that in fact all of us are here, not just you as students, but all of us are here. We take that deep breath, we fill our lungs with oxygen that, especially post-COVID, is a privilege. Many are on ventilators and wish they could take their own breath. And here we are taking breath as if nothing has happened. We are all privileged in this room. We're privileged. Refuse the tag of that disadvantaged and privileged and just let that soak you into a space of helplessness. The very fact that you are taking breath in and out without a ventilator, you and I, members, are privileged. And let us take that deep breath and say a few words of gratitude, even if you say them in silence, but be grateful. Because none of us are here because we did everything right. You're not here because you did everything right. You're not here not being expelled because you never did anything that was expellable. Silence in the room. It's okay. There are no shouts and amens to that. But you're not here because you are the best thing that has ever happened. You're not here because you are perfect. Not at all. But it's simply because of the grace and the mercy of God that you're here. And His mercies are new every day. They make sure that we are not consumed, but His compassions for us, they fail us not. That is just purely the reason that you are here. Not because you know everything there is to know to get yourself and to wake up in the morning. And remember that. Remember that you are not all there is. There is God who is merciful upon you, who is gracious upon you, not to give you what you deserve, but to have grace upon your life. Grace to give you a future that is unimaginable, a future that no eye has seen, that no ear has heard, no mind has imagined. That is the future that the God who is merciful upon you has in mind for you. Just remember that. And it's the same grace that will keep you, even as you walk out of these gates into a life that you've never imagined. You know? So even, Matrix, you may think, you've done all the growing, that you ever can, because I don't know if that word is still used. Is it? It's not. Oh, wow. Is it inappropriate? Politically incorrect? Okay. I never know these days. Okay. Amakoko, used to be, that's what we used to call, the seniors in our time. Amakoko. Mause Domiga grade 8 and Edward's Hall. Ubanjwe. Like nje, we used to warn each other. Ngangihlale Edward's Hall mina. That's where I was. Edward's Hall in the house? It's no longer a dorm. All right, okay. It says a lot. I stayed at Edward's Hall, and what we used to do is that obviously masifika seabashana makuza iqoqo nje. We used to have to warn each other. So that nje ubaleka mawubaleka udake mawudaka, because you just know that what's going to happen to you is probably something that you cannot tell your parents about. But we survived and we made it. But you know what? You are only getting started, and that's the point I was making, that you are seniors now, going out into the world, having done a lot of growing up in the last 5 years, but in reality, you are only getting started. And how are you going to do it all? Refuse to get overwhelmed by the thought of how you're going to do it all. You will hear lots of tips, advices, speeches, long and short, about everything. But after all is said and done, what are you going to do? It is what you are going to do that will make all the difference. It is how you are going to be responding to the realities of the world that is out there, that is changing, that is volatile, that is unstable, that is all of that. The only thing you can control is how you respond to it and what you are going to do. So it is the choices that you are going to make and the action that you are going to take that will make all the difference. So it is for this reason that for today, I just want to remind you of one thing. And it is one thing that you've heard a million times. And you've heard it even this morning, probably 20,000 times. To shine. And shine where you are. This is what I was told when I walked through these gates 35 years ago. This is what I was told when I left 30 years ago. And standing here today, I continue to tell myself that exact same thing, to shine and to shine where I am. Because that's the DNA of a member. That is just the DNA. It is not something that you can almost put on and put off. It is just the DNA of who you are. We shine. We shine kubuhle. We shine kububi. We shine in the day. We shine in the night. Sometimes we shine on half. Because you're going through seasons of darkness. But we shine. We shine, members, we shine. You are where you are, even all girls listening, you know that you may be going through whatever in the different seasons, but we shine. Because that is the DNA of a member. And that is just that one thing that I would like to remind all of us this morning, to shine. We shine even in the middle of the storm, eh? Because shining is just who we are. And you will never be able to escape it. You will never be able to escape the shine. One thing you can guarantee yourself, you may not know what career you're going to do. You may not know sitting here what subject you're going to pick when you get to grade 10. You may not know whatever. But know this thing for sure, that you will be shining. You will be shining, because for as long as you have a tag of a member behind you, you have the capacity to choose to shine wherever you are. It's for you to take. Now, not all shining is the same. There are many different kinds of shining, and they don't shine the same. The sun and the moon, for example, they both shine, but they don't shine the same. And they don't shine the same way 100% of the time. And so it shall be for all of you, for all of us. You will not always shine the same way, but if you choose shining, you will shine. If you think about that sun and the moon, they're both part of the solar system, but they do not shine the same. The sun is the star. It's the center of the solar system. And in fact, the sun, it gives out heat and it lights up, of its own. And it's actually, the sun is responsible for almost all the life that we see. Light, it's shining, is the one that really brings life to almost everything that lives. The sun is kind of like the center of attraction. The most popular form of shining. Everyone loves it. Everyone is happy to see it. We would have been happy to see the sun shining today. Yeah? That's the kind of shining that, it feels nice. And even some people worship this kind of sun, actually. You and me will walk in this kind of shining at some seasons of our lives, when we are Miss Popular, when we have 10,000 followers, when we have, 1 million views and downloads on TikTok and YouTube, and we are just rolling. when we are finishing our degrees in record time and we are this and we're shining, Jay, like the sun. And we're cruising nicely. But this kind of shining also has its downsides. Darkness is always lurking in the background. Darkness is always lurking in the background. And it may well be even around our lives. And I'm here to remind all of us today that this kind of shining also can shine in the dark. The moon shines in the dark. Yes, not out of the lights of its own. Did you know that the moon doesn't shine? That the lights of its own? I'm sure you did. Okay, that's fine. Because it reflects light from the sun. 100 out of 100. But still, the sun is the center of the solar system and it stands in one place, Yona. The sun stands in one place, Yona, everything circles around it. On the other hand, the moon rotates around the earth. The rotation by the moon around the earth is not a perfect circle. I was so amazed when I read that. You think it rotates perfectly, but actually it's wobbly. The way it may look perfect from where we're standing, but it's not perfect. Its power is in its consistency, that it just keeps rotating. It keeps moving. It does not stop. It keeps moving. And when sometimes we get to see the moon shining differently at times, it's sometimes it shines in full, other times half, other times you see it as a tiny eclipse, but nevertheless it keeps rotating. Even if it is doing so imperfectly, it keeps moving, and so it stays shining. And this shall be our lives. We are keeping moving. You are going to keep moving. And as you keep moving, you are going to keep shining. You are not going to stop at anything. You are going to keep moving, because your shine will come from that momentum of motion as you move. That is where the shine comes. Even if you are not the center of attraction, even if you are not the center of attraction, even if you left here, you were darks, but manje wafika lapha first day yakushaya. Isikubonisa reality, because you got there and got so excited about the freedom of everything else and whatever kind of liquids you supposedly can drink legally after whatever age. Yakushaya ke first year, Madam Darks. But you will keep shining. You can keep shining if you keep moving and you do not stop. You keep moving in the direction of your vision, in the direction of your purpose, in the direction of your plan and your purpose and the vision that you set for yourself. You do not stop moving. That's the whole point. And there are times that you may be half shining or quarter shining at that time, but you will shine because you will choose to shine. And you may think that the sun is always bright and shining, but it can happen like a cloudy day today. It's raining, it's cloudy, but you know what, we think the sun is not there, but you can get on a plane and go above the clouds. You'll be amazed at how beautiful the sun is shining above the clouds. Tina, we see the clouds here, but the sun is shining above the clouds. So there is also that kind of shining too, members. The shining that happens in the midst of the storm. The shining that happens even when everyone thinks you are not shining. And you may not be shining in terms of how the world judges everyone, but know this for sure, that even above the clouds, you shining. You will find your shining, in these kind of ways sometimes, because it is in your DNA to shine. You cannot escape it. You cannot escape it. Even if you shine, as I said, like a moon, you shine a half sometimes, you shine, but you just know that that is what is in you. Even when life throws you situations that are meant to steal your shine, remember your DNA. Your DNA, just like the sun and the moon, is to shine. That is your DNA. And we each have our stories to tell that often steal our shine. I was molested when I was a child by relatives. I was abused and I was bullied as a child. I was depressed and suicidal as an adult. I was, traumatized when I was the CEO titles that you see here. Not everyone was they were tarnishing my professional name in the media. And there's a story for another day, by the way. And I lost, both my parents a day apart to COVID almost a year ago. And those things are not on what is read 15 minutes ago, because we choose to shine. You shine. Be stubborn like that. Just shine. And we can go on, and I'm sure the stories in this room can fill up a whole wall in terms of the list of how life throws you opportunities and keeps telling you why you do not deserve to shine. But you refuse. You be stubborn and say, I can't help it, life. My DNA is to shine. Even if I've got to shine crawling and crying and tears filling in my eyes, but I will shine. Even if I shine halfway, you choose to shine. That is what I'd like to remind each one of us today. And in those times, the temptation may be great to dim your shine. Refuse. Refuse to dim your shine. You may not feel like shining also. Don't trust your emotions when it comes to your shining. Choose. It's a decision. You choose to shine. Your emotions will not always have anything to do with your shining. But as I said, make a stubborn decision that I'm going to shine through this. Whether my bank account reflects my shine or not, I'm going to shine. Whether the number on Facebook followers is shining or not, that's a number. That's for Mark Zuckerberg to worry about. Me, I'm going to shine. Where others, whatever others are saying about me, where others are saying about you, into your face, behind your back, on social media, in newspapers, choose to shine. You can't escape this. Remember, this is your DNA. This is the truth over your life that you cannot escape. Because even as all of us see rain today, as I said, high above the clouds, where only few can see, the sun is shining, and is shining beautifully. And you are that sun. You are that moon. So you must stay shining. Darkness will always lurk in the background. Stay shining. You will make mistakes. Stay shining. Not everyone is going to like you. Stay shining. You will not have everything figured out all the time. Stay shining. Your journey won't be straight and easy as your fellow classmates. Stay shining. Stay shining. And how you do that? Quick 5 things. Refuse to allow perfection to steal your joy. It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Perfectionism is a stealer of joy. Refuse to strive for perfection. Excellence, yes, but perfection will steal your joy. Because it's going to be harder than you think. Class of 2022. It's actually going to be harder than you think. Yes, it will. It will be hard. It will be harder. But what's going to happen is that you will get stronger. You are the one that's going to get stronger. Life is going to get harder. Life is not going to get easier, but you are the one that will be getting stronger. And it will be worth it in the end. Another thing, you will have to do a lot of boring stuff. I just thought, let me be the one to tell you. there's a lot of boring things to be done as an adult. You have to be willing to do boring stuff over and over and over again. And you're not going to feel like doing them most of the time, eh? You're not going to feel like doing them. Do you think Serena Williams enjoyed hitting 10,000 balls a day? No, she didn't. Go, whatever. When she has to get up in the morning, not eat whatever she wants, not go partying until 3 a.m. in the morning, because she has to be on the court at whatever time and hit those 10,000 balls, 4 hours in the morning, go for lunch, 4 hours in the afternoon for when and you goats. You have to be willing to do boring things. And this is just what I've concluded in life, that you know what, those people who succeed are those that are willing to stick to doing boring yet necessary things consistently enough to ultimately distinguish themselves from those who are not willing to do the same. That is the distinguishing factor. You know, I read this quote the other time which says, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence then is not an act but a habit. What are your habits? Excellence lies in your habits, and habits are those things that we do over and over and over and over again. Zingasa trendy, uzenze, because that is how you succeed. Whether it's in fashion or not, but you stick to doing those things. So show me your habits, and I can predict whether your life will be a success or not. So make friends with the idea of doing boring yet necessary things long enough, and you will stay shining. So dear class of 2022, I can personally assure you that the rewards of your diligence are going to exceed your expectations. You are going to exceed you're going to shoot the lights out. You know, you are just going to like shock yourself. You are going to be a surprise to yourself, to your friends, to your enemies. Everyone's going to be shocked. That is what is going to happen to you. And you are going to change lives. You're going to change lives. People are not going to come into contact with you and be the same. They're not. You're going to be walking through corridors of your tertiary institutions, and people's lives are going to be impacted even before you've opened your mouth because of what you carry with you. That is what you're going out with. And we're not going to sit around waiting to be employed also. You are not that type. You're going to create jobs. You are going to create jobs. All of you, you're going to create jobs. Because in fact, you don't have to wait until you get to matric. You're going to create jobs. When I come back in January, or whenever we're going to start those sessions, I want to hear from each person, what ideas do they have on how they're going to create jobs? How can you create a job? How can you employ one person? You know, there is no such person that can say they are unemployed. Because if you are unemployed, your job is to create a job. So that's what all of us here are going to do. And that's what you, class of 22, you're going to create jobs. You're not going to go out and join the club that is waiting for government and leadership to solve the challenges of our nation. You're going to come up with solutions that the leaders of our time have struggled to solve for generations. Those solutions are here in this room. They are waiting for you to own up. Own up. We used to have that term here as well. You have to own up, members. Own up. You got to own up. You are sitting with solutions for our nations. This is not the time to go out and just be focusing on how much drinking you can do, how much partying you can do. You've got nations that you are waiting to birth. This nation needs your solutions, and they are sitting with you. And you are going to come up with those solutions. So you, class of 2022, you are going to shine where you are, because that's just who you are.